Hey YouTube, today we're going to talk about this Kimber 2K11. I've had some more time with the gun. I have a little bit of a malfunction with the gun. We've got some stuff we can talk about here, and I'll give you my impressions so far. So, thus far, we're unloaded. Now I feel nice and safe. All right, I've got some time now with the Kimber. Not a ton of time, but a little bit of time. I've showed the gun around to a few people. Generally, I would say people's impressions are positive. Prank was the only guy who shot it who did not like it. As you guys know, Matt's a little bit of a hater sometimes. You got to give him that. But aside from that, everyone else that I've had handle it, which is quite a few people, their impression of it is positive, or they'll be like, it's more like a this seems like an interesting option for the money type of thing. And that their reaction tends to depend a little bit on experience level and like what kind of guns that they've shot. If they have experience shooting the high dollar 2011s, the super expensive stuff, they're not usually interested in this for themselves, but they'll be like, oh, this is, pretty interesting for the money. Whereas other people just, they'll be like, wow, this feels really nice. And like, oh, this gun, feels good. So that's other people's impressions of it. My impression of it, shooting it, and playing around with it. So far, I like it. I would say things that I like very much about the gun, and let me put it this way, things that I like more than staccato, because that'll give people a good comparison. It'd be like, what do I like so far more than staccato? First, I like the grip safety more than the staccato products. This particular one, the way that it's fitted, this is even better and easier to deactivate than my XC. Like, I like it. It's not in my way. It does what it's supposed to do. I assume that is good. Other thing I like better than my staccatos is the trigger. The trigger has nice properties to it. There's a little bit of take up here you can see. Then there's a wall. You press through, then the gun goes off. The trigger to me feels just as good as the staccato stuff in terms of its properties, like take up, it doesn't, okay, there's a wall there, all that stuff. It feels just as good in terms of the properties with the trigger weight a little bit lighter. So I would say, on balance for shooting faster, I like this one better, at least so far. Other thing I like better than the staccatos, again, so far, is the way that this gun tracks. So I would say the recoil impulse is relatively sharp. It's fast, and the gun's pretty neutral. Like it does a good job of coming right back to center. Do I like it as much as like the Atlas stuff? No, but it's not like, again, like compared to the staccato, like the staccato P, I imagine is one that many will compare to this. My P is like slow and pushy, and I feel like I'm waiting on the gun. This gun is snappy and violent, but I feel like I'm not waiting on it. Now, is it really violent? No, it's still a 9mm pistol and a heavy one at that. So it's not like it's violent. It just feels more violent than the staccato stuff. All right. Now, I did say I had a malfunction with the gun, sort of, and let me talk you through that. What I had was after about 1,500 rounds, no cleaning, I had it hang up. See if I could probably do it. Fired around, and it just did this, where it's like this hoe just doesn't want to go into the chamber, doesn't want to do it. Now, the recoil spring on this gun is relatively light. Just feeling it, it's like, I feel like I'm going to have to go up in the weight of the recoil spring. It's not as extreme as the XC. You might remember from last year when I got that gun. It was sprung with like 7-pound spring. The gun felt slushy and slow, and I hated it with that spring. I don't like hate this gun with this spring, but in shooting it, I would acknowledge like, hey, this spring needs to be lighter. All right. And it, like I said, the gun did not want to go into battery. Now, in fairness, I say it's like, it's sort of a malfunction because I'm shooting low-powered frangible ammunition with this thing. So it's like that ammo is not 100% in anything, really. Sometimes, but it's just like, it doesn't work that well. The bullet profile's weird, and the round is underpowered. So it like just doesn't cycle the gun as aggressively. So I'm not super concerned with that particular malfunction, just based on training and experience with that ammo. I don't believe that that's going to be an issue with this gun shooting like round nose, full powered ball ammunition. I don't think that'll be an issue. As an aside, I also think I should get a heavier recoil spring because this one's not quite heavy enough. All right, let's talk through some other things. The grip. Now, initially, I'm pretty positive on the grip. There's a lot I like about it, but the texture on this thing, it's not enough. It's just not. I feel like the gun needs grip tape, and that's kind of a weird thing to feel because um, they put so much into texturing this that it seems strange that it would need like the texturing's not enough, but it's like the gun is just too slick for me. I'd want to put some grip tape on it. The biggest issue I have with the gun is there's a sharp spot here or a hot spot on the safety for me. Now, is this going to affect everybody? No. It's just how your hand interacts with the grip, like on this gun. I just need to take some material right off of here with a Dremel or something like that, and I think the gun's going to be much, much more comfortable and more friendly for me. Honestly, that is my biggest complaint. When I was training with the gun today, I had like cloth tape all over that spot on my thumb just to try to mitigate it, and it did, and the gun shot just fine. So there it is. So I've got some stuff that I like for sure, other stuff that I would address or mess with. Um, Overall, my impression is that the gun is shaping up to be like an interesting choice, something that a lot of people want to take a look at, both for reasons of like, hey, they like the gun is really good, and also, hey, this is where I want it to be in terms of the price point. Now, I put up a solicitation on the old Instagram asking what questions y'all had about this. So let me go through and take your questions. Top question: 2K11 or Staccato XL for limited optics? Right now, I would say I would be being honest, neither. Like I would not shoot either personally because I have other guns that I consider better. But if I have to pick between those two, I'd take the 2K11. Why? Because I like the way it tracks better and I like the trigger better. The hot spot on the grip, the recoil spring, that stuff, I think I could like that can be dealt with as far as like the, training up with the gun and getting it to where I want it to be. That could be dealt with. The XL has this top heaviness to the recoil impulse that I'm not sure I could fix with how I spring it. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think 2K11 is the way I'd lean right now. Question, a return to form for Kimber. Is this a return to form? I have no idea. I don't really think so. To me, this feels like something new and different. All right. As a 2011 owner who sold his guns, I find 2011s less and less exciting as the days go on. I'm back into striker guns, and I want to know what, in your opinion, is the marketable advantage or pluses of buying this gun over more established 2011s in the market. Good to me doesn't equal compelling. I don't. Okay. What does it mean? What are the marketable advantage or pluses of buying this gun over more established 2011s? Well, I think it's competing on feature set for price. So look at the feature set, consider the price. Um, like on paper, it is competitive in that realm. The other thing that I think is tangibly interesting about it is that Kimber's a brand that's been around forever, and this type of thing, like this, again, this is a new direction. They're actually trying to build a competition gun and marketing it to competition people, which I have not seen them do. So that's why people would take a look at it. I mean, in the end, it'll be like we'll see. Like we'll see what people think. All right, this or Prodigy comp. Uh, Depends on what you're doing with it. Like the comp's an issue for competitive shooting. Um, but like I don't know, if you just want a range toy, like you get whichever you like. Any malfunctions so far? How much oil is needed? Is it working with? Yeah, so the malfunction I had again, low powered frangible ammunition, not an unusual type of thing to happen with underpowered ammo. The gun was not being lubed. I mean, it shot it. I've shot it more than I probably should have without relubricating it. All of that stuff. With full powered ammo, I haven't seen any issues. I do feel the string, the recoil spring's a little bit light though. Um, Okay, should I get that gun or half a dozen Glock 47s? Whichever one you want, man. I personally I have both. I want both directions. Would this be a good first 2011 or save some money and get a Prodigy to see if you like the platform before upgrading? Uh, I don't like the Prodigies because they like I tried them. They didn't fucking work. Like I think they're not good. So I personally would get something else. Like I couldn't buy a Prodigy. I just couldn't do it. Um, is Kimber back? Hotspots aside, is the gun functional? Yeah, I think the gun is functional. I think it's like I said, like the XC, I think it's a little bit undersprung. I think the one little like the little hang up that I'm generating, like that's a lot of that's bullet profile and that kind of stuff. Shadow Guy contemplating a change. A huge part of that is 2011 parts availability. Kimber has non-standard internal parts though. Is this a 50K rounds a year gun? Yeah, that is an issue. So I've heard that the Kimber gun has a lot of non-standard stuff internal. I don't know exactly what is non-standard and what is not, but I would certainly consider that an issue before I bought the gun. I'd want to understand, okay, how am I going to get parts for this thing? Right? Is it a 50K a year rounds a year gun? I don't know. Like I that will take some time. Um, how is the fit and finish? Is there some OME slop in the slide or is it fit well? Well, take a look at it. You can see there's not much wiggle or slop to it. It's fairly well fit. We can see dirt and grime is already working its way out the back here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Um, I mean, to me, it appears well fit. It's like pretty good. I don't know. It's tough for me to really articulate it. Is it on roller bearings and seem like it's on glass, like the Atlas stuff? No. Does it seem tighter than the staccato stuff? Yes. That's how it looks to me, like right in the middle of those two things. Kimber was solid in the 90s. What happened? I think the same thing that happened to Sig happened to Kimber, at least from what I hear. I have heard that. Um, as a first 2011 for someone, would you recommend this gun? Or is a Bull Armory Pro Tac better? Like this kind of stuff is like where it's like, guys, when it's that, like to me, those should be very close. It'll be whichever one I like the feature set or the feel of it in my hand better. I wouldn't like between the manufacturers, like the Bull stuff is pretty decent, right? I got non-standard magazines, non-standard parts, I think. And then fucking the 2K11, like decent. Like I would just go with the one you like the feature set of. How is the hot spot on the thumb knuckle? It's bad. Like I don't like it. Does it make you crave a leather holster to slow you down and get your hits, Sonny? No, actually it doesn't. Is it just as good as an Athena? No. If the gun likes Blazer, he wants to know if the gun likes Blazer. So far I've shot Blazer through it. It has been fine. I don't know. We'll give it some time. Does it rust just by looking at it? Wiping down Kimbers in their display case was a daily chore back in my gun counter days. Well, that's a good question. Like this thing has been out in the moisture and I have not lubed it. Let's see, is that corrosion? It might be corroding. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on the corrosion thing. I might have corrosion on the top of the slide because I've been storing this thing. Let's say I've been storing it not so well during some rainstorms, high moisture. Maybe that's not corrosion. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to get back to you on that deal. All right. Any more good questions here? Is it more similar to the P or the XC? I would say it shoots more like an XC. It shoots more flat, but it doesn't feel slow and slushy like the XC. It feels faster and more violent. So it's not really like either of those if you're really nuanced with it. Anyway, folks, that's a good time to leave it. As of course, I'll keep shooting the gun. I'll practice with it. It'll be fun.